Good morning, family. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Antonio, here with another channel tarot message for you today. We're going to be intuitively guided by spirit today to see what's going on in regards to the spiritual update. So this is basically going to be the spiritual update reading. Come in, liking, sharing, subscribing. We're using the Hoodoo Tarot. So your ancestors, your actual folks, people that you may have actually blood kinship with, right? Some of the most powerful root workers in America or Black American history, right? Let's get into it. So for this reading, again, we're going to be doing a spiritual update. We're going to see what the cartomancy has to say, what spirit wants to relay through the cards, right? Spirit, universe, your angels, God, right? Do we know who God is? A quick story before we get into the message, right? Today is Sunday, right? Now, of course, I don't profess myself to be a Bible thumper. I actually quietly think the Bible is extremely boring. Try reading it a couple lifetimes, or a couple times throughout my lifetime, even in children format. I think the most entertaining, right? I've been entertained at church, right? There's been actual times where I've liked scripture, right? Again, not a big Bible thumper. But the closest thing I've been able to get to enjoying what I noticed in it was when I first started my spiritual journey, and maybe 3 years ago, when I actually paid for a course that directed me to a few Bible verses that gave me a realization that something that I already knew, but I dived deeper into it. Like, the Bible is there. It's not only a book of spells, it's a book of self-help, right? Different things. I'm not going to ramble on too much about it. Nowadays, I look more of it as a book of poems, right? It's rewritten over and over and over and over by old men that can no longer go to war. So all they do is argue back and forth about philosophies, right? Astrology, friendships, right? Mishappenings. And they pass them down through a collective group of knowledge. And every now and then, like a few hundred millennia, every time the human DNA evolves into a new thought perspective, right? A new group or new talent or a new person comes around and discerns a message for us, right? We're told about science, the Big Bang. We're told about religion. And there's so many different religions and ideologies, right? I can run through them all. But just to make it simple, because Christianity is the most widely spread religion throughout the world, right? It ran throughout the course of history. And for the sake of Inquisition, right? Burning and torturing people in order to, right? You know, there's some good things and some bad things that are in the Bible. But God himself, right? Do you know that God was beautiful? Yes. When we all think of God in the paintings of Jesus Christ, right? We all think God is Jesus, right? It's just one aspect of God, right? We're all God's children. But yeah, God was indeed beautiful. Did you know that he was ugly as well? Someone may even say horribly disfigured. Did you know that he was very forgiving and merciful, right? Very honest. Sometimes he could be a very cowardly person, a liar, right? Ugly does not only have to be something physical, it can be mentally and emotional as well. It even says it in the Bible itself. God wasn't perfect. He was slow to anger, right? Just like us. Didn't say he wasn't angry, that he was perfect, that he always walked around in sunshine and rainbows and just smiled at everyone, right? And those that have witnessed God and know who God is and have an understanding of what I'm saying, right? I'll get into it. But yeah, slow to anger, right? Very forgiving, very thoughtful, right? Seeking justice. The creator. He was the gardener before Adam the gardener, right? He cultivated the planet Earth. That's enough shuffling for the Hoodoo Tarot. We'll get into it. What's grounding the message today? Maybe I'll be able to get some more channel messages. Yeah, teaching. I'm a young teacher, right? Teaching astrology, teaching tarot, right? Teaching business. It's the son of coin. So it's about the tangible ideas of what we bring down here into the earth plane, right? God said cultivate the garden. So what we can create, right, with our minds, as above, so below, and bring it down to the tangible plane, right? So, quick storytelling, God, right? I just badmouthed God, right? It's time to lift him up a little bit, right? I called him beautiful and ugly and horrible and praiseworthy and all these sorts of things. Slow to anger, right? Very rich in spirit. right? God was actually lonely at some point as well, right? Which they like to say we were all created in God's image. So if God was by himself at one point, up in a vastness of space, being lonely, cultivating and thinking to himself over and over and over, before anything was actually created, right? In darkness, right? Because out of the darkness comes the light, right? Without the light, we can't create and cultivate anything. We can't begin to clean up. We can't begin to manifest. So out of darkness comes the light. You get your light, right? And then you start to build your atmosphere, and then you start to create as the illumination and the aha moment comes to you. So he fashioned things in the form of himself, right? Talk about soulmates, union, right? Not only is it a person, although you spend more time with yourself than anything, right? Talking about God still. But a soulmate could also be a place, right? The vastness of space, the planet Earth, that favorite tree you like to sit under. Maybe that club or that school that you graduated from, right? It could be a thing, right? Maybe that cup of wine that you enjoy, right? Ambrosia, the drink of the gods. Maybe that gold or that silver that you wear around your neck, or those gifts that you give to people, right? It could be anything, a person, a place, a thing, an idea, right? The original thought or the original presence before there was no presence, right? We're still researching dark matter and dark energy. There's spaces in between spaces, right? Which is where you'll find God. Wherever you find two or more people, right, is what they would say. Wherever you find cultivation, wherever you find art, is where you would find God. So going back to God being lonely by himself in the vastness of space, and then he started to cultivate things that remind him of himself. He wanted to experience himself in a vastness, in a myriad, in a number of different ways, right? Through music, through culture, through people. Again, that's where we go back to how God was cultivating us, and he created us in his image, right? Sometimes as a painter, or sometimes as an artist, right? Sometimes as a drafter, you mess up, right? It doesn't go as you plan, right? Sometimes we look in that mirror and we don't like what we see, and we break the mirror, right? 7-year curses and that sort of thing, right? God caused flood, right? Man drowned, he destroyed the world. God also caused fires, right? We see it still continuing out today, right? Sometimes we backtrack, right? Sometimes we say things that we shouldn't say. Sometimes we do things we shouldn't do. Sometimes we experience things that we never thought we'd get a chance to experience. This is all God working behind the scenes, right? This is all us. We are gods working behind the scenes, cultivating, right? Life as it should be, right? Adam himself was tasked with the book of names, right? So many books, so many different gateways and portals to knowledge, right? Even what I'm saying right now, is it a story or is it truth, right? I've cultivated a lot of great knowledge over time, right? Either I'm a big fool, right? Because the more we know, the more we don't know, right? It's the people that we say care less about these sorts of things, that don't take life as serious, right? Children, right? They don't take life so serious. They're channelers of the divine, yes, which means they can go out into a park and have fun. They can play by themselves, right? With toys and things like that. They can make fun out of anything, right? They're very open before people, grown-ups, start to fill their mind with doubts and unnecessary thoughts, right? Great storytellings indeed. Get this beautiful dog, right? God was a dog, right? God was a bird. God was a fish. God is your favorite color crayon or color that you like to use, right? God is your favorite dish that you like to eat. God is all around us, right? On Instagram, right? In a moment of desperation, thinking about love, Spirit took over me once again, right? We cultivate and we create things with our mind and whatever inspiration that we get from the things around us, right? You don't think that people were able to make cell phones 1,000,000 years ago? Most likely they'd had everything that we have now, right? Everything that we have comes from out of the ground. The diamonds, the silvers, the gold, the coppers, the metal, everything that we could possibly want. Trees. It just may have not took someone, there may have not been anyone back then that had the knowledge, the expertise, the get up and go, or the willpower to create the cell phone 1,000,000 years ago, right? Now is that time. Someone was able to discern the message. Someone was able to cultivate. Someone was able to build the world around us, men and women, right? We even watched the animals. I talked about this before, how we created planes, right? The airplane is modeled after the bird. That's why we say it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman, right? The submarines, modeled after amphibian life forms, right? The whale beasts in the middle of the ocean, right? So let's get into it, man. Let's get into the spiritual updates. Again, hopefully you'll enjoy it. I may have to timestamp the reading. 10 minutes into the reading, right? Let's get into it. Like, share, subscribe, add value to the channel. Add your energy into the collective, or comment down below your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and North Node placements, or whatever you want to say, man. We're entering, we're still in a gestation period. My birthday is coming up, and I've almost met my goal for myself. I think I'm 5 subscribers. Was 3. I wonder what happened when I went to sleep. I'm 5 subscribers away from hitting my goal, which I'll be going live at that point, right? But let's get into it. Rising above, restructuring and regrounding, right? Someone could be taking their health more serious, starting some sort of a new health journey, possibly a new job as well, right? Your health is your wealth is your health. Pentacles. Could be dealing with a young teacher, though. Right? Could be someone on a cell phone, or someone that keeps track of things. Yesterday I was talking about keeping things on a calendar, you know, keeping we're also in an age now where the scribes of the old, they had to use tablets, right? Emerald tablets is what they would say. They had to use, even just a few years ago, notebooks and pencils and pens. Nowadays we have cell phones, right? We have microphones and that sort of thing. The new scribes, right? Tangible items to help us evolve. Let's see. Transformation, railroad bill, transportation, willpower, Cancer major arcana. This is nurturing energy here. So a nurturing teacher, or someone's nurturing themselves, or this is what we have coming towards you. Some sort of a new rising above, of course, or some sort of a new grounding option here. 6 of Knives, yes. This could be a bedtime story, a lullaby, or moving to safer or calmer waters. Maybe someone needs to read a good book on adventures, right, to give them some sort of an inspiration. But definitely transformation and transportation coming towards you. Railroad bill is the Chariot. We know that Chariot sometimes symbolizes the police. Could be, you know, the Chariot was the original car, right? Railroad bill was actually a free slave that once he got his freedom, right, he was a train hopper, right? He was into exploration, transportation, and travel, right? The more travel you get, the more experience you get, the more confident you get about life, right? Some people are just built that way. So he's the train hop, man. 7 of Sticks. Standing on firm ground, perhaps guarding your territory. When I think of 7 of Wands or the 7 of Sticks, I think of not only your physical, but your spiritual, right? Without enough energy and without enough spirit, we can't get up to do anything, whether it's defend our territory or better our bodies, right? We go to the gym, that sort of thing, right? You have to be strong and powerful to defend yourself, right? You have to have a strong spirit, right, as well, right? The smallest people have some of the biggest spirits sometimes defending their territory. You see him with the head of a gator here. This was a guy that lived in the Florida Everglades, or whichever swamp it was. Could have been a Louisiana swamp, and he wanted to defend his territory, so he asked a root worker to make him into a strong beast, which he gave him the head of an alligator, right? What's more fierce than an alligator, right? You know about that death roll. We have Paw, another water major arcana here with the moon. Could be dealing with the Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, but the moon is Pisces major arcana. Big dreams, goals, and visions. You see this Paw passing esoteric knowledge and occultism down to his son, or a teacher or mentor down to their pupil, right? Their student. There's hidden knowledge being passed down throughout the generations, right? Every generation has its own fight, has its own plight, has something new to learn. We don't want to deal in generational curses. We want to pass down some sort of a lineage or a legacy, right? That's the whole point. The sins of the father or the rights of the father. Father of Knives comes out here, right? Thoughtful insights, right? A truth seeker. Someone that would like to follow the rules, right? This could be a thought provoker or an inspirational speaker, maybe some sort of a thought leader. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, right? Very open-minded, open to the possibilities. Awareness on fleek. They like to speak. They like to write. Right? They like to explore. You can't keep air boxed in. And he still reminds me of Colonel Sanders. So someone's going to have KFC today and not cook home dinner. Small joke. 9 of Swords. Someone could actually be indeed overwhelmed mentally, right? Maybe have a lot of projects going on. This could be planning out trips. Could be planning out there's a lot of transportation here. I'm not sure if someone is going on some sort of a retreat here. They're needing to detox. But there's a lot going on here. When we see skulls, it makes us remember death, right? With all these swords around it, it just makes me think that someone is dealing with mental anguish at this time. A lot of fear, mental toxicity. It could be wanting to get some sort of a second opinion from a clairvoyant, someone like me. 3 of Pentacles, working with people, right? This could also be co-workers as well, right? What do you call co-workers that do travel with each other? Could be a flight attendant, possibly. We have the Father of Knives and the 9 of Knives. It's a lot of air. And then we have traveling here, which is the Chariot here in Railroad Bill. 6 of Swords, right? It's a lot of traveling here. I'm not sure if it's by plane or if it's by train, simply by car, boat. Daughter of Sticks, someone marching to the beat of their own drum, I like to say. Very expressional. This could also be a lot of passion here, sexual conquest, or again, proving your worth here. This could be leaving home for the first time. 7 of Sticks would be boundaries, and the Daughter of Sticks would be somehow proving yourself to someone here. Going on that adventure, right? Leaving behind sacred ground or the firm footing that you have, right? Sometimes it's not about defending what we have. It's about defending what we see coming down the line. To be a man seeing a woman, right? The Daughter of Sticks is a pole dancer or a stripper in some sorts, right? Or just a very talented, athletic individual. They're probably into, what do they call it? Calisthenics or something like that. I don't even know what that word means. Or do I know what it means, right? I be knowing things that I don't even know half the time, and it's freaky. But I like it. So yeah, we have exercise here. But again, a man sees what he likes down the line and he makes plans to make it his. Right? We have the Big Queen, the Divine Feminine, the Empress, which I resonate with as a Libra or a Taurus, right? Very luxurious, very groundbreaking, very creative, right? Very mindful, abundance on fleek. She often appears pregnant as she's the mother to a lot. Very fertile. There's always fertile ground. I'm almost getting a picture wherever she walks, there's flowers that grow in the wake of her footprints here. That's how we think of the Big Queen, right? They celebrate the Big Queen every year during Mardi Gras in Louisiana. We know Louisiana is one of the most spiritual places that we have here, not only in the United States, but on planet Earth. A lot of root workers, a lot of witches, a lot of spiritualists, pastors and preachers go there. There's fertile ground there, right? You can find oneself or get eerily freaked out if you go there. 5 of Swords here. Gossip, rumors, mental confusion here. Father of Knives. This could be a professor, possibly teaching someone, right? Trying to figure out the right words to say. An avid storyteller here. Jack. So you are dealing with wise counsel. This is some sort of a teacher or a professor, right? Some sort of a professional, maybe religious or spiritual here. Jack, right? He used to head slave revolts and slave rebellions, right? He used to bless people with lucky charms and pendants and things like that, right? Natural return to sender artist. Until one day, one group of slaves caught him and another group of slaves planning a slave rebellion, and they snitched on him, right? He died cursing his oppressors as they hung him. A promise of revenge, a promise of the promise being paid back. Very wise, very intuitive, very insightful. Gallus Jack promise or his wishes are still coming to pass this day. We recently had the Queen of England pass. The big house, the tower moment, exactly. As I mentioned it, here we go. A tower moment. The kings and queens and the monarchs on the original Rider-Waite of Tarot getting blasted or thrown out of the tower. Right? We can only begin to rebuild things after we destroy them. Right? After we look at what's wrong and what's right with them and start to rebuild. This could be a very important information or shocking piece of information that comes to you while you're out traveling. Now, traveling could be in the 3D, again, boat, plane, whatever the case may be, train, or through the internet, right? Again, it's the easiest, the simple, and the most fastest thing, right? Our thoughts, right? You can imagine yourself being on top of a mountain right now. But we've used things like technology, what we have around us, to cultivate what it would look like. Google satellites and images and things like that. You can literally get on your cell phone, your laptop, your computer, whatever it may be, tablet, and you can view any particular place on this planet if you want. Which would be Scorpio in the Tower card, right? Magics, illusion, tricks, they would say. Intelligence and knowledge is what the wise one would say, occultism. Someone unwise would say it's a trick, right? Unaware of the tricks that they do and the tricks that they perform throughout the day, right? They don't admit to these things. Next, for your spiritual update, we have 10 of coins, letting you know that anything is possible. You can cultivate anything you want, right? Get out of stagnancy, right? Get out of, and I often say this as well, before a woman enters pregnancy, she should build up her sturdy foundation. Before a man goes out and travel, he should build up some sort of esteem about himself, right? Put some muscle on, right? Then you get out and travel. You have something to prove, right? Knight of Wands. The 10 of Pentacles is always out there for you. This is tangibles. This is legacy. This is having more than enough and sharing it with people, right? There is no fate but the fate we make. Miss Robinson, a business owner. The Devil card in the Major Arcana. But Miss Robinson was a business owner, right? She was another root worker. A witch, a psychic, right? That very much kept to herself, right? I wear black all the time, she would say. I stay to myself and I just want to be left to my own devices, right? Her story is that people, gossipers, women, right, that were unhappy with themselves, misery, love, company, and this is just devil energy, right? Sex, drugs, and alcohol, obsession, and toxicity. People are overly obsessed with things they should not be obsessed about, right? They're triggered and they're tempted about things that they shouldn't be tempted about, right? But the devil is all-knowing. He's traveled back and forth throughout the planet Earth. So there are a thing or two that you could actually learn from the devil, or if you follow in the devil's footprints, right? Do what I say, not what I do. Or do as I do, not what I say. However that message resonates with you. But it wouldn't stop bothering Miss Robinson. Capricorns are known to be entrepreneurs. They want to get to the top of the mountain, no matter how much hard work they get in, right? Their foundation and their legacy, right? That stuff keeps them grounded at the end of the day. All of us have something that keeps us grounded at the end of the day, whether it's love, that book that you can't stop reading, right? Or the people that's around you, or that job that you live for, right? But with Miss Robinson, right? Minding her own business, right? Being left her own devices she wanted. We had gossipers, you know, women, busybodies, right? That would often badmouth her business, right? And give her business a bad reputation. They were extremely curious about her, though. Miss Robinson did something that was very strange. She would often go to various funerals, right? Anytime someone died, and she would take, what was it? What are those things? Is it a eulogy? On one of those cards, right? Those things, those in memory of types of things that they give you when you go to funerals, right? She would often collect those things. For what reason, I don't know. I have not made the actual discernment on that piece of information yet. But you even see one in her hand. So these women would bash mouth her and they would say, stay away from us, or you're always doing something nefarious, or we just don't like you, right? People are always jealous of people that have talent, right? People always try to steal from a business owner because they think they got it like that, right? Comes right on top of the big queen, which is the divine feminine, on top of Paul. But I'm not finished here. So her story was, right? Since you guys won't stop bad-mouthing me and bashing my business and making my life a living hell, she secretly cast a return to sender spell, right? Only to those that would continue to harass her and harass her business, right? Try to drive her crazy, but it backfired. People's children started to die, right? Mainly the people that were harassing her the most, right? And when that started to happen, the harassment stopped. You can see her smiling as she went to one of the biggest perpetrators of bashing her, right? This woman that just wouldn't stop leaving her alone. That woman had one child, one son, and that son died unexpectedly. And Ms. Robinson could be seen passing by his funeral, right? As she normally would do. So it's not like she did anything out of the blue. And she looked back and she smiled as she took one of his pamphlets, right? In loving memory of your son. I'll say less. Next, what we have, I believe this is your final card. 8 of Swords. You're at a crossroads, right? You're needing to make a choice, so this is someone around you, right? The 8 of Swords is a mental prison, right? A lot of mental toxicity. Someone could be judging themselves, right? Forget about judging others. When it comes time to judge yourself, right? What do you have to say? You can go in any direction here. Are you needing a compass, or are you needing more intuition, more insight, right? Now we start to backtrack, right? We wanted to get out, we wanted to be grown, and when we get out there and we're grown, now we want to go back to what makes us comfortable, right? Bravery is seeking out not only one direction, not just 2 of directions, but going in all of these different directions and in all of these paths, right? Enlightenment. You'd come back with a great grandiose story after you've traversed these different, many different paths here. Headed towards that 9 of Swords. Of course, it's going to be fear, right? Trying to get to that 10 of Swords, which we haven't seen in our reading yet. So hopefully you can avoid toxicity. Closing out some sort of a karmic cycle here. So in good, it could be someone could be dealing with fear of, again, leaving something behind. Fear of adventure. Right? Again, people let the thought of something go wrong. And I talked about this yesterday. They let anxiety and fear, false evidence appearing real. They let the thought or the anxiety of doing something new, whether it's succeeding or failing, stop them, right? Just the thought alone. You ever heard of somebody getting scared to death that their hair turns white and they just instantly have a heart attack and die? That's what I'm thinking here. That's exactly what I'm getting. Now the Major Arcana, a whole row of them here. For the water signs, we do have Pisces in the moon card. Right? Intuition, clairvoyance, knowledge. A lot of wisdom here. Transportation. I also call it transformation, right? Confidence. You go from a caterpillar to a butterfly, right? Trains even look like caterpillars, right? I wonder what they modeled the train after. Probably spot on with that one. Pisces coming up again. Heavy spirituality here. Or someone may be religious. I'm more inclined to think that it is spirituality because I don't see certain cards that would indicate religion here. Now both religion and spirituality are tools, right, to help us reach a greater enlightenment, right? You can only prove what you see or what you feel or what you taste or what you touch, right? Faith is about having confidence, and having confidence is about having faith. We have the big queen, the divine feminine, right? A divine creator as God made us, right? Even Jesus said, you'll be able to do greater works than I. Who's that guy? Adam, yeah. He was a very potent creator. Right? You have to be very creative to come up with names to every single thing on the planet Earth, right? We're still naming things today. I come up with a new word or a new phrase every day, and I shock myself while I'm in deep channeling or deep meditation, or even while reading the tarot. Yesterday, I made quite a spectacle of myself. I have to go back on that video. It was quite a phrase that I put together. But someone could be an entrepreneur here, or wanting to live that entrepreneurial life, or there's some sort of a high-powered supervisor, maybe business owner or CEO here, Capricorn. With knowledge or great power comes great responsibility here. The big house. Now, the story on the big house is that it's actually a madhouse. They would, you think the prison systems that we have now is nothing compared to the slave prisons, right, that they had back then, which these current prisons are modeled after. You are not on a plantation, you are in this madhouse here, the tower card. You can actually see people jumping out or falling out of this madhouse. People didn't care what was going on with these people, right? People don't care about people with mental illness, right? If someone literally could take possession or control of a person, right? If a woman can make a man do whatever she wants, she would do it. And vice versa. If a man can make a woman do whatever he wants, he would make her do it. Outside of these free will, which is God's gift, free will, right? Sometimes you have to fight for it. I'm being reminded myself, being clairvoyant, there's a spider on your head, and now all I see is spiders and spiders and spiders. They're above me, they're below me, they're to the right of me, they're to the bottom of me. I'm sure there's a number of spiders crawling on me right now. Now I uploaded there's an ant. So I uploaded, and they had a problem like this, problem with this. This is why they took it off the air. Orlando Bloom, or is it Orlando Jones? I forgot what his name is, but the Sprite commercial guy. He was one of the showrunners of a show called American Gods that came out a few years ago. I was quite intrigued in the show, right? And he was a Nancy, kind of like the storyteller or the narrator, like how the Crypt Keeper was in the Tales for the Crypt. But he played more of an intricate role in the show. They got rid of him. We can't have you telling truths like that here. I've also been followed by cops lately as well. High court cards. Someone wanting to prove themselves. Again, maybe opening a business or staking their own claim. Right? They're very passionate. They're very grounded, very down to earth. Could be a very nice or jolly individual here. There's not a lot of negativity here in the reading. There was just a grand storytelling, a spiritual update that I needed to parlay, impute onto the masses, right? We just had a massive shift, still in retrograde season, but we're coming off a full moon in Pisces. Pisces is a collective. It's agape love. Right? Pisces are very self-sacrificing. Pretty soon, actually, I think last night we came into the Aries season, the Aries moon. Which means there are going to be a lot of people getting a lot of energy to take action, right? Aries full moon has gotten me in quite a bit of trouble sometimes. But when I look back on it, it spearheaded my spirituality, my new lease on life. It's my moon sign, my emotions, the way I respond to things. Right? The divine masculine energy. I mean, I resonate. It's a spider. Look at that. Being clairvoyant. I resonate as divine feminine, being Libra, but that is in my 3D birth chart. Getting too deep into it now, but I also have Aries in my moon, so I resonate with the divine masculine. If we're talking love, Aries, then yes, I would be a divine masculine, right? Look at all this red. I wear too much red. What else do we have here? We have a lot. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We even have a 5 here. 3 of Pentacles. So again, I'm not sure if this is you, obviously, right? Getting readings or dealing with a clairvoyant. Someone may actually want to work with you as well. I'm not sure if it's a teacher or a student, a business partner. I'm going to try to show you that spider before I end off the reading. Now, let's not forget we had Son of Coins at the bottom of the deck. So there's an opportunity for abundance, right? Renewal. 5 of Swords. May be confusing at this time, again, those crossroads, which we'll get to. This could be gossip or rumors about you, right? Again, slight confusion. You're probably in the midst of learning something. Wanting to leave behind that toxicity here. Probably debating and arguing, people not understanding you. We have the Six of Swords, moving away from this, choppy waters. You are understanding, hopefully, what people are saying, taking it into an account and developing your own mind state, right? This will be like someone taking a long vacation, going to the top of the Himalaya mountains, getting some sort of a structure, right? Clearing their thoughts, right? A vacation. Or just a quick walk in the park, right? To reground themselves, right? To remember who they are at the end of the day, right? Guard and protect yourself, whether it's mentally, financially, spiritually, right? There's something important, and we all have a gift. Eight of Knives. We just have to find it, right? Take a look in the mirror. And there's never not a decision or an option that you can take. Look at this. We have 4 rows, but it's 8 swords. The 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. Sorry, the 9 of Swords, right? Which will be the fear that you're letting block you from the other side of this abundance here. This 10 of Pentacles. So hopefully you enjoyed the reading today. Updates to the spiritual divine, updates to your spiritual conscious. Just giving you a quick storytelling. Hopefully you liked. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you read from the reading, whatever resonates with you. Hopefully you picked it up. Jewels and jewels. Let's do some extra. But there's actually zodiac readings and other messages on the channel as well. We have a whole spiritual playlist of synchronizations, right? Motivational lectures if you're into that thing. Yeah. There's a lot we're cultivating, right? I'm into all sorts of things. Art therapy, music therapy, right? Gem therapy, maybe tantric therapy. Whatever it is, nature therapy, right? To help you upgrade yourself, right? Build confidence in yourself, right? Once you have these things in yourself, i.e. love and abundance, you don't have to go around like some sort of a karmic or an energy vampire siphoning it from everyone else. At that point, you can begin to cultivate and share with people, right? What's being hidden under this young teacher or this Son of Pentacles, after you reground yourself, you're going to ground yourself and then you're going to go into an adventure, Son of Sticks. So this is more curiosity here. Looks like you're moving into love, right? Could be agape love, self-love, or coming into union with someone. Yeah, coming into union with the world around you. All is one and one is all. Right? 7 of Knives, right? You're confused, but there's some things that we're not meant to understand until we reach a certain age, right? You saw these things at 2 years old, if you're able to remember. You didn't understand them. You turned 12, and yeah, that was pre-teenage years. You had an inkling, and then 10 years passed, 22, you learned something else. And another 10 years passed, right? Childhood, memories. For me, this is spiritual flirtation. Right? Memories. Someone could be coming towards you with a cup of love or a cup of offer. They're wanting to spend time with you. Could be a past life relationship. I'm not 100% sure here. We're not going to get too much into that sort of thing. But it is a gift, an offer of love, possibly an apology. Right? Someone could have tried to finesse you here with the 7 of Swords. So after you get the confidence from traveling here, right, the expanding, right, this is Sagittarius, who's pretty spiritual and religious, whatever end they tend to come from, right? They're very methodical. But this is a journey, expansion, a world card. They're watering their garden, realizing that if I don't water this garden or water my own garden, right, I won't have any flowers to give, right? I won't have any flowers myself to partake in, right? This is people learning to plant their own food, right? Could even be a website as well. Someone's traveling, either, again, 3D or through the internet, the World Wide Web, the internet, possibly a website. But this is also the world coming towards you. A lot of strength here, right? They're coming towards you with a gift. They're coming towards you to partake. This is a covenant. There's strength there, ancestry, DNA. I happen to think we are all connected with whatever religion, right? Whatever color you think your skin is, whatever brilliant idea you think you're having, someone in the lowest end of the totem pole is going to be able to take advantage of it. Just like someone at the lowest end of the totem pole is probably inspiring someone that's all the way at the top and has ran out of ideas and are living very lackluster lifestyle, right? I can't spend my money on anything else, any good experiences, right? Sometimes it's about throwing those inhibitions out of the window, right? We can't be stuck up all the time. We can't think we're a know-it-all all the time, right? Even a king doesn't start out as a king, right? Even God himself, going back to the beginning of the reading. He is very doubtful of what we were doing down here, right? I'm pretty sure he's smiling down on me today on this Sunday, and he's very happy that he allowed his angels, right, to check him, right? They got in trouble for it, right? Which is why Lucifer is down here, right? And it's not necessarily in what you would call it, a disciplining a child. I guess that's his nature. That's God's way of saying, yeah, you deserve to be here, right? You wanted to take on this task. Now stay in it, sit in it, right? It's meant for you, right? But that is what I have. Enough with the storytellings, right? There's a lot of strength, right? We all have the same DNA. We all see someone going through something and how they did it, and it gives us confidence, right? 1441 or 4114, however that resonates. Unfortunately, I can't show you that spider because he's run away. So I'll just leave you with that. Like, share, subscribe, add value to the channel. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.